Okay. Good evening. Welcome to the September 14th, 2021 Murrysville Planning Commission meeting. Please all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Patty, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Lemke?
Here.
Ms. Hoy? Mr. Meidel?
Here.
Mr. Patrick?
Here.
Mr. Olszewski?
Here.
Mr. Kearns?
Here.
Mr. Levecki?
We have a quorum. We have minutes from August the 10th. Does anyone have any comments or corrections to the minutes as presented?
No comments here, Bo.
No. I have a motion then to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We have a period for public comment on the agenda. Does anyone have anything that they would like to bring to the attention of the Planning Commission? No? Okay. No public comment. We'll get into old business. There's a discussion regarding the Redstone Highlands request for a review of density options for proposed apartment development on Klein Hollow Road. This is the expansion, basically, of the existing Redstone facility. Someone going to present? Don't forget to please use the microphone, sir.
All right, good evening again. My name is Jonathan Gorcheski with Gateway Engineers. Taking the direction from the last meeting, we put together a conventional zoning plan, meeting the requirements of the municipal ordinance. And with that plan, we provided 49 lots, a little bit less than what we were hoping. But with 49 lots would allow us to build 2 apartment buildings, 24 units in each, and then the clubhouse.
Okay. This has been submitted to the municipality. Okay.
Been no review done. It was waiting for planning commission comment.
Okay. So, explain your plan to us, sir.
Yes, so this plan shows meeting the requirements of the R2 zoning district, the 22,000 square feet per lot, 90,000 or 90 lineal feet of property frontage along the road. This road is showing connections into the existing campus as well as to the property to the south, and then coming around to a cul-de-sac on the southeastern corner of the property, and then a private access road coming off of Klein Hollow Road on the north end, providing service to 4 lots with 1 lot accessing Klein Hollow Road directly. Stormwater management would be handled in the northwest corner of the large parcel, as well as another stormwater facility proposed in the northeast corner of the property.
And this roadway coming out to the
Southeast,
bottom
yes,
part there.
that would tie into the right-of-way on the adjacent piece of property.
What's that street over there called? Okay. You just haven't shown that existing street that's there.
Correct, I have not. No, that ties right into the right-of-way that adjoins that piece of property right there. There's actually 3 spots of adjoining right-of-way on this piece of property. The southern piece is exactly where we're connecting at, and then on the right-hand side, the southern parcel line, there's like that loop jog. That actually ties into a right-of-way, and then right beside lot 21 is another connection into a paper right-of-way from the plan to the south of us. Based off topography and the way we laid out the lot, the only one that seemed like a feasible connection to the existing right-of-way that actually has the road to it is the one on the southern portion of the property.
So you would be accessing this. You're probably not going to build this, but you're just demonstrating
But what could be built based off conventional zoning, based off of the number of units that we would propose. This is actually showing 2 lots more, or 2 units more than what the environmental sensitive calculation would show.
Yeah.
So we're going from 47 to 49. So based off your comment from the last meeting, basically you're looking at density neutral when you're looking at a PRD approach, which this is essentially showing that.
And your cut and fill slopes that you've shown there, they're 2 to 1?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right, so this will have to go under the municipal review
As far-
just to, verify that, that all these lots are in fact legal. Do you have, on your drawing, I can't quite make it out, do you show areas or frontages? Are they written in anywhere?
They are not, but we can provide that if that's what's needed to ensure that the plan meets. I mean, if you want a plan showing the lot areas as well as the frontage across each road, we can provide that to you.
Okay.
Well, I think what's important at this point, if they're going to proceed, then they need to make application so that we can generate a escrow account and send it along for review. So they would have to meet the requirements of the PRD.
Okay, so then,
PRD.
okay, so then why we were here originally was to discuss the plan informally, to go over the approach of the way we're approaching the density calculations. So could you give us, because we're not, so the process what we're going through is seeing what fits on this piece of property. And Redstone Highlands is going to be doing some market research on their end to ensure that they could sell the units in the future. So our process is going to be a little bit delayed before we actually submit the application. So if you could give us a comfort level that you're okay showing that we could fit 49 lots on here rather than actually going through that process, just so we know that moving forward, that we would be providing a plan in the future showing 49 lots, which is 2 more than what's the environmental sensitive species is.
Well, I think you'd have to work out an escrow agreement with the chief administrator there, because they're gonna,
We'll be incurring review costs.
some review costs in that, so I think it would be a modest amount.
Couple $1,000 probably.
Yeah.
Just show,
Well, it's not 20 or 30,000.
right, yeah, just more or less stating that what we're showing meets the intent of the ordinance and that a future application.
I would suggest that if you've gone this far, adding the lot dimensions, things like that, you ought to take a look at what's required under the preliminary preliminary PRD submittal, and we can talk about what you don't need at this point. For example, say stormwater or something like that. But there are portions of the requirements that we would need to see at this point to ensure that the lots meet the requirements of the ordinance.
Yeah, and one of the things might be to provide a steep slope map.
Which we provided.
Yeah, they're provided here.
They're provided there.
We have 40% and 20 to 40.
Does this plan overlay that?
Yeah, well,
Well, let me move on
Slides.
here to, I was trying to find the name of the street there. For some reason, I can't remember what the name of the street is there right now. Would I have to think it's in,
by the way.
Sequoia Court.
That's what I thought.
that's what I thought. It had to be in the plan over there.
Okay, so are you still looking for that steep slope map, Jim?
I have it here.
There shouldn't be any wetlands up here on this hillside.
Okay, there you go.
So that's the 25 to 40,
Oh,
which our ordinance is on that. We could do that, and then.
yeah, oh yeah, that's the other one.
And then
Right
the next
there.
one, Jim, is the one with the 40
Here you
plus.
go.
That's the one with the 40 plus. You see that it's in the little pocket where we're not to start, where we don't have a lot.
Those are greater than 40%, is that what
Yes,
you're saying?
yes.
Okay.
Yep, so those are the areas we're not disturbing as part of the proposed plan.
Okay, so what he wants to do is make a pre-application application.
Yeah. You can give me a call. We can go through what the requirements are.
That would just
We'll
be-
identify what you should add to the existing documents that you have there. And then we'll estimate an escrow fee.
That would just be an internal review on your end, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Well, when you have these lots like this, where it's steep slopes right in the middle, is that built?
Just a question,
Well-
please. Where would you be connecting to Sequoia Court? Is that the lower left-hand side here?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Mr. Patrick had a question.
I was going to say, on lots like 35 and 34, you have what looks like a steep slope going right through the center of those proposed lots. Can you help us understand what's going on
Those are
there?
the 25 to 40% slopes, which could be disturbed.
Yeah, it's anything over 40% is a no-no. 25 to 40 is a conditional use, so they would have to provide a geotechnical evaluation of that's really doable.
Okay. So basically, in order to go forward, you have to verify that this is a doable plan.
Providing the acreage and the lot dimensions. Yes. And then Jim, if you want to show up the last plan, which is what we would be proposing.
Sure.
Okay, so this is what you're actually wanting to do, which is those two buildings and the clubhouse.
That's correct, yes. Tie into the existing parking lot on the current campus, come up to a parking field with a clubhouse, and then 2 apartment buildings. In this scenario, the stormwater management facility would be on the northwest corner of the property behind the clubhouse. Everything else would just fall downhill to that.
Are these units for sale?
No,
No, okay. I say, because I don't know quite how you do that other than a condominium.
Is phase 1 and phase 2 labeled correctly on this? Yeah, you got the southern building at phase 2?
building on the right would be phase 2. So you would build the clubhouse.
All right, then it is labeled backwards right here then.
Oh, I'm sorry, that might be labeled backwards.
Yeah,
Apologize for that.
that's all right.
I was just
I was wondering why you'd build a clubhouse all the way down there.
Okay.
Okay.
This is, members of the Planning Commission, you have any comments or questions? Gentlemen at this time. Ladies in the back there who have interested in this? Yeah, you like this one better? Okay.
So just from a timing perspective, Redstone's going to be doing their market research through the course of the rest of the year. Probably be an application sometime early next year.
Very good.
Okay?
So we'll try to get an answer for you on the 49 lots. I imagine that can be handled via emails or whatnot.
All right, and then we can come back in October to planning with comments.
Okay. So you want them there on October?
Yeah, as long as well, it might not be. I would have to have the information by, let's see, the 22nd of September. I don't know if that's too quick for you or not. Okay. If not, then any time after that, the November meeting is the 9th. Or the December meeting would be the 14th. Okay.
Okay,
All right, excellent. Thank you for your time. I appreciate your help. Thank you.
no problem. Okay, the next item on the agenda is site plan for Bowser Body Shop on, this is at 4429 William Penn Highway. This is the, formerly the Creative Bus Garage. Mr. McGrath, are you representing the owner, I assume?
Yes, sir, I am.
We have, you got it up on the screen there, Jim.
Yep.
Okay, so what are you going to do here?
We intend to
Oops.
renovate this and make it into a body shop, collision repair. We will put a large storage area that's completely enclosed by a fence that you cannot see through, with a mound of dirt around it with landscaping, which is shown right there on the left side of the drawing.
What's the size of that?
170 by, I can't remember the,
I think it's 80, isn't it? It says there on the plan.
Eyes aren't as good as they used to be.
The
70
size
by
of-
180. And then the earth mound is going to be outside of that.
outside of the fence, yeah, around the entire perimeter.
And that's a solid vinyl.
A white vinyl fence that doesn't have any slots, you can't see through it.
Okay.
You said it's 6 foot high?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
How high is the mounding then around it?
Couple of feet, possibly 4.
Yeah, it's showing 4.
It's
on
shown as
drawing.
4.
What's this area right up here?
That was, when it was Creative Buses, they had to put a water
Okay, that's your detention area.
detention, yeah.
I spoke to Mr. Job and he verified that that had been installed.
And this is all to remain gravel that exists down there now?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Did I read somewhere where you were reducing the number of parking spaces to add doors?
Yes, at the left front of the building, yeah, basically just if you move your mouse down a little bit, right there. We're going to move some of the canopy that comes off the side of the building there, add a couple of doors for folks to be able to pull their cart in for estimates.
I'm going to have to check the approval. I thought I read something today where they got a waiver on their parking requirements on that. So that may have to be reviewed.
Creative Bus, you mean?
Yes.
Would that be in these minutes that you gave me, Jim?
It will be in the review letter that I gave you on top, I think, Bob.
One from Mr. Rosso?
No, from Scott Hildy.
Stormwater calculation. Talks about stormwater. I don't see anything in here where he talks about parking. The only thing I saw in here about parking is that he has to have so many.
Impervious.
Yeah.
Impervious, yeah. Let me see if there was something here.
And
Here it is here. On the original application by R.A. Smith, who was the engineer for the Creative Bus, they sought relief for the design standards to be permitted to designate 31 parking stalls on site instead of the 52 required by code. The request is due to the needs of the proposed business and that they only need approximately 25 spaces for their business operation.
yeah, so how many employees are you going to have here?
I should have 11.
And all the vehicles that are there for repairs will either be inside the building or in the
And that's
enclosed
arcade
area?
area, yeah.
Okay,
I think that under the code, that parking requirement is based on square footage, which is not necessarily applicable to a crate, a bus, or in this case, a repair use, because you don't necessarily have patrons in and out of there all day.
right. So should they just ask for a modification on that?
Yes, I believe so,
Okay.
unless there's somewhere else where you can squeeze 2 spaces in. Is that how many you're proposing to eliminate?
Yes.
Yes.
What's this area, this hatched area down here?
There's a overhead garage door there.
Okay. So you couldn't fit any parking down there, huh?
Well, it would take away the usability of the garage door.
Okay.
Not in this area, Bob. What's going in this area here?
That's the storage area there.
I mean, I don't have cars parked there.
Yeah, that's where they're going to store their vehicles inside there.
When the vehicles come in, they're going to be stored here.
Okay.
Okay, and then that's what the mound around.
Gentlemen, we can't, you know. You have a question for the applicant, Ed?
Yeah, I guess in your storage area, do you have any feel for how many cars you'd plan to store there?
I would have to do a calculation on it. I'm not 100% sure at this point. But I can get that for you.
Now, these are cars that are, I mean, what's the circumstance that they'd be there? They're either waiting for parts or
No,
they've
that
just
would
been
be
towed in
collision
and,
vehicles.
pardon?
A collision, somebody wrecked their car,
Okay, and it's just sitting there waiting for either
and we would put it inside there, yeah, waiting to get it into the shop.
for adjustment or whatever.
Correct.
So what goes on inside this building then?
Well, you have metal repair for the majority of the stalls in there. There are 2 paint booths and a frame machine to, straighten out frames or whatever if they were in and out automobile accident.
Okay. Are there going to be any?
So we're going to designate 3 of them for detail as well, to wash and clean cars for customers to pick up.
So as far as the paint is concerned, how do you handle all the VOCs and all those requirements? Are you using all water-based paints? Or?
It is water-based, yeah. And actually, I did bring somebody that we get our paints from, in case you guys had questions that I couldn't answer.
Okay.
You want to have him speak?
Sure. Chip?
Hi, my name is Chip Whitfield. I work for Tuna Automotive. We sell all the body shop supplies, including paint and adhesives and everything to Bowser.
Okay, so tell us about the paint and any fumes that might come off of this facility.
They're currently using PPG EnviroBase, which is a water-based system. It's a low VOC system, and due to EPA restrictions and everything, we, every 5 years, have to go through and make sure that they're not using anything that has hazardous air pollutants or anything that's going to be bad for the environment. So we've just done that in June, so they're currently up to all federal mandates for sprayable materials. So, everything that they're using is environmentally friendly.
Okay, so your company basically is certifying that the materials are okay. So who audits the facility itself? Does anybody audit the facility?
The EPA.
And how frequently? Do you have any idea how frequently that is?
As Some of the shops get audited about every 2 years. It's a random audit.
Okay.
Yeah, but everything has to be documented. They have to have a booth maintenance schedule. They have to have documentation on site that the booth filters are 98% efficient or better. They have to have documentation that all of the products that they're using meet all the EPA requirements and everything. So if anybody would come in, they have to have that documentation or they can get fined.
Maybe this isn't for you. As far as the wash facility, I know when you have a car wash, you have to have some mechanism to handle all the detergents and what have you. How's that being handled?
It's all hand wash, not a machine.
Oh, this is all hand wash. Okay. So what do they do with the water? And with a machine, at least you have some fixed cycle. When it's hand wash, it's pretty random, I would guess.
I would assume so. I mean, I'm not sure on the random end, but no, we don't use anything there, you know, that is environmentally hazardous.
Well, that would probably be something, but it all goes down the drain out into the sanitary sewer, so you best check with the sewage authority to see if there's any regulation on that.
There's no drain in there yet, so we had to do something different, obviously.
What about this paint booth? How are fumes and all handled with that? What is a paint booth?
Another gentleman from the paint booth company.
My name is Blair Skendrich. I represent BCI Equipment, and we are a distributor locally for the spray booths. So the spray booths are all filtered, twice coming in air and twice going out, okay? And these are all ETL listed, okay, throughout the country that they can be installed anywhere, okay? So they are all filtered, okay, and all that is taken out. And then the filters need to be disposed of after that's taken out.
You filter the air coming in?
Correct. Got to be clean, or else the paint jobs won't come out clean. Okay,
Yeah, you
so,
dust on the
so
paint.
each one has a heater on it. Okay, so each heater has a pre and a post filter. There's ceiling filters and there's filters in the floor. So it's filtered twice coming in and twice going out.
So this is a downdraft system?
That is correct.
Okay.
All right.
Will there be any cars to be repaired, stored outside of the enclosure? So you don't have a problem with that being a condition of approval then? Okay.
This application is a little unusual in that it's a redo of what somebody else did. And so I think there's just some verification that needs to go on, Mr. Morrison, that they made, that everything there that was approved before is still there.
Right.
Is the staff going to do that?
Yes. As I mentioned earlier, the original applicant got approval but did not get a certificate of occupancy because the landscaping wasn't completed, was the main obstacle there. The use is a little bit different than what Creative was proposing with the outside storage here with the proposed paint shop, and I don't believe Creative had a paint shop in their original approval.
Okay, so this is a conditional approval and a site plan approval.
Yeah. With the open stone area there, maybe we can just have the 2 additional parking spaces identified out there in the stone area to avoid any issue with moving forward.
I don't think you're allowed to do that, are you?
What?
Have parking in gravel areas?
We have it all over the place,
Do you? Okay.
including the park.
It's allowed in parks.
I thought we went through this with the mobile homes up on 286, with the gravel lots, the recreation vehicles.
Yeah, those were, but that was a storage area.
There's no asphalt up there for customer parking.
In the little building outside there is. You pull up to it.
We can check that and see.
Now, if make, I'm sure you can designate a couple of spaces over there
Yeah.
for parking.
Are you going to be doing any paving down there at all? Or are you just going to use it?
We were thinking about redoing some of the paving that's already there,
Okay.
just because it's deteriorating and cracking and coming apart.
Oh, at the same time, I could have them lay some asphalt there on the stone.
Okay. All right. Members of the Planning Commission, is there any questions for this applicant?
I think
Looks
so.
fine.
Very straightforward.
Yeah.
Okay, so conditions of approval would be to provide 2 more parking spaces in the gravel area. All vehicles awaiting repairs are to be stored inside the enclosed area, the proposed enclosed area. Anything else, Mr. Morrison?
The landscaping will be subject to review for occupancy, and a bond will have to be posted for the landscaping.
Okay. Those are the 3 conditions then? I have a motion to recommend approval with those 3 conditions.
I'll make a motion to recommend approval.
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. And when would this appear before council, sir?
The first meeting in October,
Which is,
October 6th.
6.
okay,
Thank you all very much, appreciate it.
thank you. All right. Any, what else? Any other business, Mr. Morrison?
Nope.
No? Carl, anything, any words of wisdom from council?
No, this is fine. I think the idea going back, not to this, but the Redstone Highlands is that I know the 2 ladies there do not want to see a connection to Sequoia Court. And
Yeah.
I live there too, and I'd like to not see that as well.
Well, I think they, they have to show that it can be done
Right.
to determine a unit count, but I don't think they're interested in being in the house building business.
Well, who owns that property? Is he going to lose 2 lots on the end there if he has to put a cul-de-sac in?
No, because he's connecting to an existing road.
Yeah, but if he was putting a plan in, he would have to
Yeah.
put a cul-de-sac in. I can bring that back up if you want.
Yeah, where would that be?
I think that it says who owns that property on any of the plans.
It didn't seem to,
Oh, what's this? Now or formerly Harry and Angeline Andrews. Actually.
yeah, actually, I looked at that before, and there's like laid out lots in
Who
there.
owns that? Harry Andrews?
Yeah.
He was my boss. First boss in Pittsburgh.
Can you find it, Jim?
Yeah, I got it.
So where are you talking about?
Down here.
Wasn't that where it connects into an existing?
Yeah, that's
That's-
that street that
That's
comes.
Sequoia, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the road Carl's talking about. They don't want them driving it through their plant.
Right.
So if they need to cul-de-sac that, are they going to lose these 2 lots?
if they had to cul-de-sac it, but why couldn't they just come in off of Sequoia? Extend Sequoia like that?
Well, I think that's the point. They don't, that's why these people are here. They don't want that traffic going through their plan.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't matter what they want.
I was going to say, I don't think they could prevent it. I mean, my the first thing I thought of, not that they want to build this, was that they can't really connect that street into their parking lot. That's not a
And I
viable.
think probably they need to show that street because the emergency responders are going to have a problem with only one access into that site.
Well, how many, there's only 40,
48 units.
yeah, and I think it's, what's magic numbers, 50 or something like that?
Or,
For when you have to start looking at two, in other words, you can have 50 lots on a cul-de-sac.
yeah.
So there's not two ways in and out of that. Right?
I don't know about the 50. I don't recall seeing that.
I think that's in our, I think it's in the subdivision ordinance. I think if it's less than 50, you can actually reduce the width of it.
The cul-de-sac.
Yeah, the paving width.
Well, I'm sure, I don't know how big these lots are laid out, but
Well, that's one of the things we'd have to
yeah,
check.
we have to take a look at, and if necessary, we can alleviate any of that. But I think that emergency services is still going to want a second access in there for those apartments or whatever.
Wasn't,
For their apartment plan.
Yeah.
on their apartment plan?
Yeah. 'Cause they're coming up, they got to come up through the existing plan in there now to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty circuitous.
Yeah.
Chris, you think you could wind an emergency access road from up there down to Klein Hollow?
Well, it's probably what it would be, is an emergency access. I think they would have laid that subdivision out that way if it was,
If it was feasible.
if they could have done it and had a subdivision, you know, a road that would have met the saldo.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, that's one of the things we'll have to get into then.
Yeah.
All right. Carl, nothing good from council? Nothing on our raises or anything?
No.
Not yet.
The school tax is taking over all
School
the money. We're SOL.
Do they get their permanent occupancy for the schools?
I don't think they got their final occupancy yet. Some cleanup items, but the buildings are safe. And you can go on the 22nd for a tour.
Oh. Yes, you can.
Oh.
You didn't get your invite in the mailbox?
No, I suggest if you have time to go.
Yeah, I think it's worth it.
I went.
Very nice building.
Yes,
I went
they
the
are.
other. I came by here a couple days ago. Maybe it was last week. The misfortune, and I realized after I started out for work that I'd left my cell phone at home. So I came and turned around out here and looked across and saw a vast sea of vehicles trying to exit the site. I'm just wondering, why do we pay for school buses when everybody drives their kids?
On me.
Well, it doesn't matter now anyhow. I saw on the news tonight that the state of Massachusetts is actually calling out the National Guard to drive school buses because they can't get drivers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. In the state of New Jersey, they're paying parents $700
That with everything.
for each student that they'll transport to school.
They make more money.
No, wait a minute. Say that again?
They're going to pay, the school district's going to pay a parent $700 for each child that they transport to school.
per school.
Yeah, yeah. So if you got a minivan, you can make it 4 or 5 grand.
What about the liability?
You can get Uber. We could hire Uber to do it. See?
Oh, man.
I don't know if Massachusetts is the same as Pennsylvania, but in Pennsylvania, you're required to have a CDL. I would imagine there's National Guard people that would have CDLs based on the vehicles that they have to drive, but that's one of the hangups is, there's two things. One is you need to have a CDL, and the other, you mostly have elderly people driving the buses, and they don't want to get COVID.
Yeah, not only that, you have to want to work.
Yeah.
That's the other requirement.
Well, most old people want to work.
Yeah, I understand that. That's why you're relying on old people.
Yeah, exactly.
So the work ethic.
And after
So the
September
kids are
4th,
all
there's even
just
more available.
lepers now. No one can go around the kids. Is that what I'm hearing?
Wow. Okay. All right, if there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all. Don't forget to